Noon. In Detroit, hope everybody's doing well. We got a lot to discuss. One of which is we got to clean up on Al Costa. Oh, don't worry. I heard the slander this morning. We'll clean that up. But we got to talk a little bit about the Tigers. And what it's going to lead us into, Rico, is coming to terms, I think, with the fans on the positive and negative side. What is it going to take for all of us to sit around the bonfire and make s'mores? You know, what is it going to take for all of us to be nice? What is it going to take for all of us to forgive? For instance, I have a hard time forgiving the last two off seasons and the lack of veteran bats. What will it take for me to lay my sword down? Well, I have something for you. We're going to do that at 5.
Okay.
First, I want to handle the game we just watched. And second, we'll do cleanup aisle cookies. And let's start with the game. The positive, the game is almost like a capsule of this team. Reese Olson is awesome. He retired the last 14 batters he faced. Very similar to last night's game, where the worst lineup in Major League history scored 11, which we almost predicted. We go, watch. We're burying these guys today. They'll put up 10. Oh, they outdid that. But the bullpen came in on a night where Maeda didn't have it, and they were outstanding. The pitching is playoff good. Now, Reese Olson today, here's the thing that kills me. Do you know the 4-run inning they had for Reese Olson is more runs than they've supported him with all season in 6 starts?
Yeah, when you hit me with that stat, that was like, okay, I need to check that out. Yeah.
But it's the late stages. Now, look, if this were 2008, 9, 10, 12, these phone lines would be full with bullpen conversation. Why did you go to Foley in the 7th? Why was Chafin in the game and not Lang when Fry already kills lefties and you have it right there in your book? But I'm not going to go there. I want to go somewhere different, okay? And the different is this. I saw something today that I have never seen in the couple of years now of Major League Baseball's new extra inning rules. I have never seen a guy thrown, doubled off, whatever you want to call it, thrown out at second while standing on second on a ground ball to short. What? Disbelief. You thought Chafin was in disbelief when he went, how the fudge? That was me. Chafin giving up the home run. That was me watching the ball game with you guys on Kenny's bootlegged live from Barbados cable signal. And we're watching the game. I looked at you and I had to have the same look on my face. And I didn't say the word fudge. I said one that rhymes with duck. I've never seen it. How? Yeah. Harvey.
I mean, it was rudimentary play in Little League. That you don't, the ball is in front of you. So maybe you take a step to see if the ball is going to go past the shortstop, but you leave yourself enough space to get back to the bag safely or dive back to the bag. He got caught in no man's land.
He was like, out by a mile.
It was base running error that a pro should never do.
And if you think we're overdoing it, please understand. You lose the game on that play. The free runner at second.
I was going to say, baseball basically says, here is a run. Okay, we want to expedite this thing.
Right.
We're going to set you up with a man in scoring position, and you shot yourself in the foot. Why? Off of a routine ground ball. This wasn't like, oh my God, it was a heck of a. Like, what were you doing?
Well, the other thing, and Rico, like this is, look, when they put Javi out there, he leads the team in steals with 6 of them. I mean, they're not a running baseball team. They're just not. If that ball goes through, you're scoring regardless. Or at worst, fine. We got first and third. There's no issue. The game is a microcosm because I will say it again, as hard as I am on this franchise, this pitching's good enough. Mm-hmm. You know, Reese Olson should file a grievance. But like between the weird bullpen usage where AJ, look, this is not the first one. I just haven't really delved into it because that's not where the audience is at right now.
A little too early for that.
And let's face it, half the audience can't watch the games. So when you make a weird decision the other day and you're using Shelby Miller, it's like not everybody can close.
You know, and you're right. For those who did not watch the game on Bally's, go find it on social media. You'll see what we're talking about with Baez getting picked off of second.
On a ground ball. On a ground ball.
On a ground ball. But basically, he ran himself out.
It cost you the game. It really does, because now and again, if you're at home, maybe it's different. You're on the road. Cleveland can come up now, bunt the man to third, hit a fly ball. Tigers tried to bring in the fifth infielder with the new shift rule. Fine. But I want so badly for this team. You see the formula. We talked yesterday. If this team can score 4 or 5 runs a night, they can get to the mid to high 80s. They can win games, Rico. This pitching, another turn in the rotation where Jack Flaherty was great. Another turn in the rotation where Reese Olson was great. You know, Skubal's a Cy Young caliber arm. Whether he wins it or not, I don't care. And it's like last night, man, it was awesome. That lineup, as ratty as it was, they saved this team on a night that Maeda gave you no chance to win. Maeda was awful. Bullpen was incredible. They come in today and you go, why am I still looking at Javi Baez? You know, like, why? You just cost us a game. And if I have to hear another person talk to me about, well, he still has a positive WAR, so he's giving you value, I'm done.
No, because it's plays like this. That you know what? You would almost forgive a Colt Key. You're new. Okay.
You're new here.
Yeah. Okay. We don't normally do this, son, and we frown upon this, but let this be a lesson. Javi, come on. We put you out there for a reason. You're the base runner. You're the speed of the team. And the ball's hit to short, and you chose to just put yourself in a position where you were just dead to rights. You couldn't get back to the bag fast enough. Why? Where were you? You would have been better off just running all the way down to third and forcing them to throw the ball to third base and hoping that they got a throwing error.
And look, it's a big swing. Right? Today's game's a huge swing. Now, last night, you score 11 runs and you don't win. You're basically the Colorado Rockies. You needed tonight. I mean, your road trip was a 1-5 disaster. Now, look, we're going to get to this.
It was a 1-5 disaster. And I know I hate doing the shoulda, woulda, couldas, but guys, it could have been a 4-2 victory.
Minimum 3-3, the way the pitching was.
Right.
Minimum.
But I think you could have took 2 from the Yankees.
Should have.
2 from the Guardians. And you know what we're talking about? Hey, maybe you are a contender.
Right.
Maybe you are serious because you're not doing it against bottom feeders. You went up against the Yankees and Cleveland, and you got it done on the road.
And it's frustrating because the recipe is there. They've got a lot of it right with the arms and the bullpen. And I told you, as critical as I am about Scott Harris's approach to offense, is as complimentary as I've been about his ability to put a bullpen together. Period. I have no qualms about it. But today, the Javi Baez thing, look, I know, like, I'm biased, right? Like, I want Javi Baez gone. I did never wanted him signed.
That's really not you did not want him signed. Because I remember when I brought it up and you like, no. If there was a chair drop back then, you would have hit me with it. You're like, no, you don't want this guy. I'm like,
anybody but him.
Like, you know what? They need a shortstop. Maybe the compromise is him. But now it's just to the point where I guess what's the tipping point, the breaking point where all of a sudden the Illich family just says, you know what, we can't do this. We just got to let him go. We're going to have to eat the cost of the rest of this contract, and we just got to let him go because he's not helping the team.
I compare what happened today to what happened when he forgot how many outs there were last year. Like, today's a day where if you want to be a leader, and I'm A.J. Hinch, I'm sitting Javi Baez down for the next – well, obviously you have a day off tomorrow. I wouldn't play him Friday night. Like, you can't do things like that. You know, and if you want to tell me, well, Javi's intrinsic value is he's good in the clubhouse, if that's the angle you want to take, fine. This is the second time you've made a bad news Bears error in a year.
But see, but if you're good in the clubhouse, how do you then go up to one of your teammates when they're doing something wrong and try to check them?
Right.
And I'm like, well, you got picked off of second. Like, you got the first out in Cleveland.
I know.
Did you forget about that, Javi? Well, it's not about me. Well, it is.
Actually, it is. So, no, I'd like to know where people are at with it. It's a real, on a day-to-day basis with this baseball team, it's a real love-hate thing. I love a lot of what they do, man. Rico, I'm telling you, Reese Olson, This team ought to pass the hat. There should be some kind of like church deal. You know how you can text your offering in, David? They ought to be depositing some money in Reese Olson's bank account. The kid is pitching outstanding. Right. Text Reese to 479. Like
either
something.
That or maybe he just needs to take them all out to dinner and find out why. Why don't you guys play for me?
Why don't you love me?
What did I do?
The rotation is there. The bullpen is there. The offense, it's not. I know last night notwithstanding, but like today, case in point, you scored in 1 inning. And should it have been enough? I mean, yeah. But it's hard when you score one time to take essentially you took a 2-0 lead, okay? Because you had to overcome the 0-2 deficit. It's really hard to win games 2-0. And that's what you're asking your guys to do over the last 2/3 of a baseball game. I get so angry because I'm telling you they could win this division. And they're just giving games away. They're giving them away. Now, they're 19-18. Now, you're not the Houston Astros. You're not a Houston Astros bad. But, Rico, these games all count. Mm-hmm. I mean, yesterday I made the point. It was my estimation by having a wretched offense. You'd cost yourself 5 games in the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah. But think about this, Mike. Just in the 6 games, as you said, that you just played, you lost to the Yankees 2-1.
Yeah.
You lost to Cleveland 2-1 and 5-4. Those were all 3 games you could have won. You could have got that.
Well, today's was just, look, if I lose the game 6-5, if I lose the game 7-6, if I lose a wild game in extras, it's fine. When Javi costs me the game by getting doubled off second on a ground ball.
Taking away all threat that we have of scoring.
And truthfully, look, I don't want to overstate it, but we act like the baseball games in September are the only ones that count. They all count. Go back to 2009 with game 163. At any point, you could have avoided that.
You're right. The games in September are the only ones you remember because you're going to forget about this.
No one's going to remember Wednesday, May 8th unless you're losers like us.
Right.
Me and Rico with our walking stick. Oh, what about Harvey in Cleveland on the 8th? Yeah, we'll be the 2 old men at the opera.
Right.
And that's the hard part for me. Because it's very hard to wrap your arms around this team. Because they just do some things where you're like, oh my God, why? We'll get some phone calls. We do have to play cleanup aisle cookies. I just was very confused by Jim's approach to using our show for his show. He kind of left out some details. And we'll get to it. I'm not mad. I'm more confused. But I want to be unequivocal with something. Because I think what he did was a little dangerous. I don't have a huge issue with fans outside of one part of the fan base. Right. I want to explain that remark since Jim really, I think willfully, Jim's too smart to say he didn't know. No. I want to go ahead and explain what Jim on purpose left out. Because it's an important discussion as we head towards 5, Rico, for the Peace Pipe Summit. I am going to broker peace in this town with Tiger fans. Okay. And at 5, I'm going to set the terms. We'll get to it. Ready to roll?
Let's do it.
God, is it nice out. All right, in an instant, an auto accident can put you in the worst financial position of your life. You got to hire the right lawyer to make sure the insurance companies pay what they owe you. It's simple. Injury attorney David Femininio, him and his team, they've made insurance companies pay for over 30 years. They can help you with your case. David, ready to speak to you personally right now. All you need to do, call 855-65-CRASH or go to that website, getdavidgetpaid.com.
That was fitting.
And Harvey, I'd like to state for the record, Harvey is officially a negative WAR player as of today. Congratulations. So we're going to play cleanup aisle cookies. I don't know if you guys heard it. Jim had a bizarre way of going about this today. And what's interesting, I never thought Cookies would intentionally misrepresent my words, especially when he called me last night to tell me how much he liked the open of my show yesterday. And then he goes, I'm going to use it. All right, go ahead. I don't care. God bless. Do whatever you got to do. Then I hear today, and I'm going, well, that's interesting because I don't feel like you've given them the rest of what we said. So let me just be unequivocal, because the only thing that bothers me is if Jim wants to turn this into like me against fans. Let me be very clear. When I say this is a joke of a baseball town, it is about what you're willing to tolerate. See, if you're upset or you just don't care and you don't go, I'm not mad at you. The only part of the fan base I can't understand are the Scott bots and the people who defend this team at every turn. The Al Avila defenders. You're the same people. Primarily my issue with this town is why there isn't more pressure on Chris Ilitch, why there is not even a discussion about the moves that Scott Harris doesn't make, and why do I have to go to the Toledo Blade for the only hard-hitting piece where it says Torkelson essentially shouldn't be in the major leagues. Like, that's why I don't think it's a great baseball town. This has nothing to do, and I heard one guy call in, and it really honestly made me sad because I'm like, dude, I'm not coming at you. I think it was like Mark and Macomb. And it's like, dude, I'm not mad fans aren't going to the ballpark. I'm mad at the team not giving you a reason to go. I'm mad because this town will put 2.5 million people through the gates if they're good. I don't understand ownership. I don't understand Scott Harris, and I don't understand the media constantly defending a franchise that has won the ultimate prize 4 times in like 130 years. Okay? There's no reason. Because unless I'm mistaken, I've never seen a million-man march outside of Old Tiger Stadium or Comerica. I've seen it at Ford Field. See, Lion fans get angry. Lion fans scream, yell, cry, curl up in the fetal position, then carry a flag and run down the highway. It's a roller coaster of emotion. But it's a football town. Now, John agreed with me. One thing I didn't understand that John said on the morning show was John going, well, what do you want me to do? Use my platform to go after the owner?
Yeah.
In fact, yes, John. That's exactly what we do here because we are the voice of the fan. We're all the fans have. A vast majority of media, not all, but a vast majority of media in 2024, they're pro-team. They're pro-pom-pom. I mean, look at the network, for God's sakes, with Bally. You can't look at it currently if you're a Comcast subscriber. But
here's the thing. And here's where it got sad, but we were just talking about what we've been talking about with you and with Rieger, just, name the position players that the Tigers have developed since 84. And I'm sitting there talking to David and Kenny. And actually, I can even look at you because you were, 4? 84 was a long time ago. Like, you two weren't born
40 years ago.
Right. What were you, 4?
That's correct.
I
was a big Mike Bossy guy.
Right. You and Roberto were 4. Like, it was that long ago. But, yeah, we haven't won one since.
The point I'm making is, when I say this is a bad baseball town, I don't believe we have the right owner. I don't believe the media does a good job of being your voice. I think they're more interested in the free taste test of the Crazy Puffs. And I don't think fans here demand enough. Now, again, I don't care. Any show on this station can do anything they want and whatever. Oh, Mike's negative or Mike's mean. Do whatever you want. I don't care. I'll be your content all damn day. But the point I'm making is this was never a shot at people, certainly not a vast majority of them. It is a shot at the part of the fan base that is infinitely optimistic and annoying because it's not okay what the Tigers do. It's not acceptable to go 10 years without the playoffs. It's not acceptable to go 8 years without having a top 20 offense, much less top 10. It's not acceptable to be $60 million below league average payroll. Real baseball towns don't have that. They don't allow that. And if you want to say, well, St. Louis, it's all they have. Well, that's not true. They have the Blues, but fine. But the reality is they spend at a top 10 clip. The economics aren't any different. St. Louis, Detroit, man, it ain't L.A. They spend, they care, and the media there holds the Cardinals accountable. That was my point.
But St. Louis has a rich history, so it wasn't an apples to apples, according to Cookies.
Fine enough. I'm not here to, he can have a difference of opinion. I just don't need to be misrepresented by somebody. That's silly. Because here's the other thing. Anytime we've talked about something Jim has said, including yesterday where I did not misrepresent his Luis Arraez opinion, Jim has had an audience with this show to call in. And if you're going to call me at 6 o'clock at night to use my stuff, at least have the decency to tell me that you're going to intentionally misrepresent me, and I'll come on the show. Fine doing it.
I mean, you do a great job telling me that all the time. I'm going to twist your words.
Thanks, buddy. So, no, it's not that big of a deal. No, it's just one of these deals where I want more passion from people. Like I heard a couple of the callers this morning, and they're like, well, what does he want us to do? Go back to New York. First of all, the go back to New York thing is silly. I've lived here almost twice as long as I lived in New York. There's no return policy at this point. Second of all, you don't have to do anything other than care. Like, think about this.
And I don't even think you have to go as far as what the A's fans are doing, but you do have a voice as a fan base that you can say, guys, this isn't acceptable. You know what? We're not going to show up to the games. We're going to do this. We're all going to wear some ridiculous color to show our protest for this product.
And again,
fix it.
This is why I choose to go at the media more. My fights with Wojo, like, it's a real thing where I'm going, you know, where's the torque column? Where is the hard-hitting stuff where as a media we just go, the guy probably needs to be sent down?
But he gave a hard-hitting opinion on the
City Connect
jersey.
I know. So my point is, in summary, just so I can be unequivocal, Evan, you can put this video out. I don't think anybody in this town has been a bigger advocate for fans than me. Because I'm the guy who gets himself in hot water left and right. And I don't care. I want to win. It's been 16 long years without a championship in this town. I want to win. And I know a portion of Tiger fans do. My point, not enough of them. And certainly not the number that a real baseball town would have, where people passionately demand more. And when people go, well, what am I supposed to do? Voice your opinion. What's the media supposed to do? Hold this team accountable. Hold Chris Ilitch accountable. Hold Scott Harris accountable. It will never make sense to me how they sat out free agency this offseason. It will never make sense to me that if it's a business model. I heard one guy call into Cookie's show, and he goes, well, they got a business to run. They're not in the business of losing. Really? What's the Tigers' record under Chris Ilitch's stewardship? I'd say it's the best thing they do is lose. So my point is, at 19 and 18, when you should be 25 and 13, I'm angry because I'm a baseball fan and I'm passionate about it. And in real baseball town, this is a football town. Who are we kidding? We pack 2 college stadiums and we pack an NFL stadium for a team that's had no success. We are a football town. But if you want to claim to be a baseball town, A, the media doesn't fit the profile. The owner doesn't fit the profile. And too many fans are too happy just shrugging their shoulders and going, it's daiquiri time, y'all. No. The Tigers owe us. The Tigers owe this city.
So you're coming over to my side with the fans just hanging out at the ballpark.
I've never argued your side. It just hurts me to admit you're right, and it sucks that that's what we're dealing with. Now, to Jim's other point was, well, we're tired. What, you don't think I'm tired? No offense, Jim. You showed up 10 minutes ago.
Tired of
You
what?
don't think I'm tired of watching losing? Oh, well, fans are just exhausted by it. We're all exhausted by it, but you have won out being a fan.
Oh, yeah, eating prison food. Yes, that's what he said.
Right, you just voice it. And again, I don't think the media does you guys a solid. They paint a picture that it's all hunky-dory. Oh, hey, try the Coney pizza. It's just swell.
That I think is the problem too. Is the Bally-esque coverage of the Tigers? It's supposed to be the voice of the fan in the media. You're supposed to be that, but when they're covered like North Korea, you can't possibly be looking at them. If you're in layman's terms, if you're a kind of a fringe fan or a vague fan, you're thinking, "Oh, the Tigers aren't that bad. I saw the Coney pizza." No, it's
Kenny,
not that way.
It is too. Is Kenny? You're right in that they're covered like a team that's actually delivered for you. They're covered like a team that has actually like owned baseball. It's such a false narrative. So that was the point of yesterday's topic. I just wanted to be crystal clear, and I'm fine. The guys in the morning do a very good job. They're welcome to do whatever they want. I'm the ultimate ball breaker. Do whatever you want. But for Christ's sakes, don't openly misrepresent me now for 3 hours. That's silly. That's all. Just a little silliness. Now, David, can I do this at 55?
Sure can.
Because we're a little over time.
Yeah, by the way, they're 438 and 627 under Chris Ilitch.
Yet, where's the piece about it?
So 438 and 687.
Where's
if I do
the
a little bit
column
of math, I'm going to say that's a losing record.
Okay, you win. 97-1. Okay, gorgeous day. I'm sorry what happened to the Tigers today. Javi Baez, I know I'm biased. Again, not a real baseball town. If you had real ownership, the guy is DFA'd, period. Or minimum benched, and I'll play Wensiel Perez. David, what do the ticket texters have to say? Talk to me. What do we got?
Who needs Kendrick Lamar versus Drake when you have Valenti versus Costa? That is from Tyler, and I agree with you, Mike.
Hardly. No, it was very
So we got to
simple.
wait till midnight for them to drop their mixed. Okay.
Well, you got to give Jim a chance to re-listen to all 4 hours of our show to get content for his.
Well, beauty of it is you only have an hour and a half this time.
No, the point, there was no yelling. I'm not really upset. It was just like stunning as Rico called me this morning and he's like, "Are you listening to this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what planet I'm on."
No, actually, I said you live a great life because you're making money off of 2 shows.
That's slander, and that's Rico Beer. David, go ahead.
So not right.
Not right.
Someone says it's no coincidence that the 2 most frustrating franchises in town are owned by the same owner.
Correct.
Something has to change now.
And again, an owner who primarily skates in the media. Skates. Again, not a great baseball town.
No,
The owner skates.
because every time something happens, he'll put something. Hey, look at the new showers. Look at the new plane.
Hey, hold
look
on.
at these new jerseys.
Hold on. I got some new renderings, y'all.
Huh? It's the classic distraction.
Kenny, we're getting that LED roof if it's the last thing I do. David, go ahead, and then I'll get to the callers.
Somebody says, "Go get them." This morning, they did you dirty? Had to turn it off after the exhausted comment was made. Jake from White Lake.
Yeah, and again, he called me last night. I would have, if you told me that that's what you were going to do, I would have played along and I would have come on the show with you.
Yeah, he took it out of context because I'm sitting there like, I was sitting right there. That's not how it. No. Okay, but I'll keep listening. Maybe he's. You know what, Jim, land the plane. And he landed it like, okay, you missed the
Mike's
airport.
mad at you for not going to the ballpark. Never said that.
You can drink your daiquiris. And it's like, what?
I quit. Let's get to the people because I do want to talk about today's game. Because the Javi Baez thing, man, if you missed it, guys, it's every bit him forgetting how many outs there were. I think it was against Toronto last year.
This is one where, yes, if you're like Mike and you don't like social media, just go to social media, go to X or Twitter, type in Javi Baez, and I'm sure that play is somewhere in there, and you can see what we're talking about. Leadoff runner on second in extra innings, and he runs him. He makes the first out.
Let's go to Josh. He'll bat leadoff today on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Josh, how you doing?
Hey, friends. How's it going?
Excellent. What's up?
So first I want to say you got to cut Javi a little bit of slack. It's hard to remember the rules of base running when you never make it to second.
Oh, dear. He was in an
first of all-
unfamiliar position.
Yeah, he's not used to it. So I think this team's going to finish 81-81, and here's why. 7-8 in one-run games, which is a lot of one-run games on May 8th. Top 5 pitching, bottom 5 offense, that sounds average to me. Run differentials like what, +5, average. And this team is like convinced that you can build out 5 or 6 Matt Vierlings and call it a roster. Every team needs one Matt Vierling, but Harris is content on getting like 6 or 7. And lastly, if the Angels could DFA Albert Pujols, and I know he was at the end of his contract, it's a little bit different, but like Chris, just pay the man and let him go.
Yeah, because honestly, I'd rather see Wensiel Perez, who's played plenty of shortstop. Like Josh, I can't do it with Javi Baez. I can't do it anymore.
Last thing too. So last year, I think he was bottom 2 in OPS. I think only Tim Anderson was worse. And
Sounds
it's
right.
the same this year. The only person with a lower OPS was Colt Keith. So yikes.
And look, I know, Josh, I'm not big
I
on
love Colt. I love Colt.
Yeah,
I
and
think
again,
he's
I'm not
good,
huge
but
on the
Javi.
sentimental stuff, but I was happy for the kid that he got a hit today, drove in a couple of runs. Like, nobody, Javi, not Colt Keith, nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, hey, look, I want to really try to be bad today. No, Colt Keith is up here trying to live his dream, and it's turning into a nightmare. I want to see the kid perform. I felt good for him. The Javi thing is simple. He's an old dog. This isn't a kid. Guy's already made his money. I don't need to feel bad about nothing. Javi's life's going to be fine regardless. I just don't want you to play baseball in my town anymore. I don't want to look at you. It really just doesn't go past that.
But yeah, that's just it. It's like if some of the younger players made these mistakes, you can overlook them and say, okay, guys, youth, you're just new to the league. You need a better grasp of the game and how we play it in the majors. This isn't Toledo anymore. Javi. Booby. What are
Baby,
you doing?
Booby, Hans. Let's go to Paul, 97.1. Paulie, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Talk to me.
I got to say, I'm just furious. I can't do this anymore with this team. I cannot stand Chris Ilitch either. He's held the Red Wings back for so many years, and now he's doing the same thing with the Tigers. I don't think he's Mike's biological son. I honestly think he's adopted because Mike is rolling around in his grave right now. Like, Chris, wake up. Like, you got to do something here. Mike, I want to thank you, first and foremost, for being real. You know, I got all these people, how do you listen to Valenti, that mean man? He's so unreasonable. He's so mean. How dare he criticize? How dare he want to win? Damn it, I want to win baseball games. It's been a decade of this.
And you know what? It's been 16 years in our town, man. It's the longest championship drought in this proud city's history. Like, I love it. Paulie, I heard somebody call the morning show today, and they're like, he's negative about everything. No championships, 16 years. What am I supposed to be thrilled about?
Nothing at all. And you know what? We have ice cream truck drivers that this guy signed in the offseason. You got Bob Vila or whatever the hell his name is coming up Colorado's. Unserious. He's completely unserious.
That's
where
what I feel.
Ryan, whatever the hell his last name is, ought to be? He ought to be working at Busch Gardens as a tour guide because he's going to, he had a good game yesterday, but it's not.
I was about to say, Paul, he had a good game, man.
No, but Paul's point is.
I don't care.
Right. Paul's point is.
I don't care.
We know what that is. Like, we know what that guy is going to end up being. So great. There's no video of you. You don't even have a profile pic on ESPN.
You'll be good for about the first 5 games until
Dude, there was a time where Quentin Berry had 3 good weeks. Nook Logan. You want me to go down the Tiger, welfare all-stars?
Berry.
Chris Shelton.
Right, dude, I've lived it all, Rico.
I haven't heard that name in a long Quentin.
I've lived it all.
Brennan Bosch, Andy Dirks.
Right, we've seen
You
it
know what?
all.
I
We've
actually
done
thought-
it all.
I thought Brendan Bosch was going to be something. I
think we all did.
I bought in.
I got news for you.
I'm raising my hand.
I got news for you. Talk to people around town. So did he. Nice attitude on that one. 248-539-9797. So here's the deal. I'm going to continue with these phone calls. We've done cleanup aisle cookies. We handled the morning show, and I think a gentlemanly manner. No slander, no yelling. But if you want me to be nice, what will it take for all of us to pass the peace pipe around?
To hit the reset button.
Right. How about this? For me to let go of we should have got bats in off-season thing. How can I forgive Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch? Rico has an offering. Very church-like. He's got it in a wicker basket, and there are envelopes in there. We're going to get to the offering plate in the 5 o'clock. So a lot left to do today as we get you to 6 o'clock. I believe Rieger is joining at 6. 248-539-9797.
Not Pastor Ryan.
He needs to get it together. Hungry Howie's. All right. Flavor crust pizza. Nothing beats it, including Javi's base running. You can get a large one-topping pizza, $6.99. Every pizza, fresh dough made daily, 100% real cheese, and real ingredients. 20 toppings to choose from, 8 flavored crusts, all $6.99. So here's the one catch with this. Let me shoot you straight on this deal. You want the one-topping large for $6.99, you got to go to hungryhowies.com or download the app. Yeah, I'm sorry, you have to download another app. But it's a $6.99 one-topping large. That's pretty good juice for the squeeze. Limited time offer. Online carry out only.
Brought to you by 24 Seconds Bar and Grill. The Tigers at a 4-2 lead after the fourth inning. That knocked Cleveland starter Shane Bybee out of the game after a 44-pitch inning. That will be the only offense Detroit could muster. However, Cleveland struck for single runs in the 8th and 9th to send the game to extras, and then this happened. Five to 4, the final score. It spoiled a solid Reese Olson outing that saw him go 6 complete, allowing just a single hit and earned run. The Tigers still have only won one game when Olson pitches, despite his .252 ERA. Former Oakland basketball player Chris Conway has a new home. He's heading to Washington. It's believed that he got a large NIL payday as well. That marks the second transfer that Greg Campi has launched, which also includes Trey Townsend to Arizona. Xfinity and Bally Sports, their saga continues. Diamond Sports, the parent company, released an open letter last night saying, quote, bottom line, Xfinity's current proposal will immediately put Bally Sports on a tier requiring you to pay more to see your favorite teams. This matter is not an attempt to ask Xfinity to pay more. In fact, we're just asking them to accept market terms. Their goal is to reach a deal and get your local teams back on the air. Sadly, Xfinity hasn't been willing to engage in meaningful discussions, nor will they put the channels back on while we continue to work through this. At the Coral Health Update Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, 5 o'clock. Great to have you with us. Gorgeous afternoon. Tigers, yikes. Just such a chance to mildly salvage the road trip. Javi Baez and extras. And you know what? Shame on us. And Rico had every intent, and I never doubted him for a second. Just go to social media. I'm sure the Javi play is there. Nope, it's not.
I owe you an apology.
No one can find it. Kenny and Rico and Evan, all social media experts. The play, it's as if it doesn't exist. So you'll have to trust us that Javi on a ground ball to short was picked off a second. In extras.
Kenny, what about bootleg Twitter? Is it on there?
It is not on bootleg anywhere, Rico.
What about Twitter Barbados, Kenny? I mean, you got. So, look, we're talking about it. We did clean up aisle cookies. I thought Jim did us dirty on the morning show. And look, Jim's too smart. He knew what he was doing. But no, I don't have an issue with you guys unless you're one of these Scott bots. My issue is passion. You want to be a really good baseball town, you should be angry that your team who's pitching their bleeps off is a 500 baseball team. I mean, Reese Olson had no business. He has no business being winless. But your owner doesn't get the appropriate amount of heat. Your media doesn't cover this team in a way that feels like there's a standard in this town. And then there is a segment of Tiger fans that I am at odds with. But it's not the majority. I have no qualms. If you decide you're not going to the park.
I think the majority of the people, Mike, are those who stay at home. And the majority of the people are those who said, you know what? It's not on Bally's. Okay.
Right. Well, and Jim tried to turn those people against me, which was just silly because that's not what we said. You think I'm mad if people don't go to the park? No, hell no.
They've given you no reason.
That has no bearing on whether you're a great baseball town or not. My point is, you seem to be too okay with a team that's always rebuilding. And a team that went into the offseason with clear offensive needs and did nothing when you had a bunch of money come off the books. And we got a bottom 5 offense and a top 5 pitching staff. And it's just they're missing an opportunity to win this division. This pitching is good enough. This bullpen is good enough. And I'm not okay with that. So that's the tenor of what we did yesterday. And whatever the hell Jim was attempting to do this morning, it was just, I was like, wow, this is what we're doing. But I'd love to hear from you guys on that. You know, look, they went 1-5 on the road trip. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. They should have been 4-2, 3-3 at worst. You went 1-5. And a large part of that, yesterday notwithstanding, is the offense. Even today, you finally gave Reese Olson some run support. You get a 4-2 lead. First of all, it's the only run support you've given them all year. Second of all, you didn't score the remainder of the game. You know, it's just a real hard thing to do. Now, if you're going to put up a 7-run pizza in the third, I'm cool if you don't score again. But it again, you got to be able to scratch another run out. You got to be able to get into that Guardians bullpen and
Because what you saw today was why you can't rely 100% on the bullpen to just always bail you out.
Yeah.
Because they didn't.
And look, you want to critique Hinch's bullpen usage? Why was Foley used when he was? Why is Chafin a lefty pitching to Fry who kills left? You can play this whatever way you want. The Baez play is just another reference point. If this was a real baseball town where the owner seemingly was engaged, okay, maybe he is. Maybe they have a good reason they don't want to get rid of Javi. I'm just saying, a lot of big-time towns, Javi Baez wouldn't be there. And after today, where it's the equivalent of forgetting how many outs there are, I would be done with this. Now, you want to wait till June 1? You want to do a bigger sample size? I'm just making a point. I think this town has a weird romance with this franchise for no good reason.
Yeah, and I think we can moan and complain all we want about Javi and DFAing, and the management has kind of shown you with Miggy. We're just going to hold on to these guys until the contract's over. So, you know what? Grin and bear it. That's what we do. To go back to what you said yesterday and take this full circle, actually, Gov made a point this morning because I was listening. St. Louis, with Albert Pujols, said, yeah, you know what? We're going to let you walk. You can just go, do your thing. We appreciate your time here. They moved on. We held on to Miggy. We're going to hold on to Javi. Why? Well, we owe him some money, so we got to leave him around. Actually, I'd rather win.
Yeah.
And you have enough money. Pay this man off.
Tell me right now, who gives you a better opportunity on a day-in, day-out basis to win baseball games? Winfield Perez or Javi Baez?
I can stop you right there, Perez.
All right, so if you're a serious baseball operation, why is it a question? I'll tell you what, you don't want to DFA him? Put him on a bench. Put him on a bench.
Oh, I said that.
Play somebody else at short for 5 straight games.
You can't do that because, he's a major league player, and that's insulting. I'm like, I'm trying to win games. I'm not trying to manage your personality and talk about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. I care about games. You don't like it, play better. But guess what? You haven't, so sit right here on the bench, and if you want to go complain to your agent that you want out of town, I'll be the first one to sign the papers. But just because you pay someone doesn't mean you have to play someone.
Well, it's a sunk cost. Like, think about, like, for you, I know you, like if you go back to your college years, guys, or if you go to your 20s when going to the bar was a thing. You're waiting in line to get into a bar. You've already waited 30 minutes. Not walking away and going and doing something better with your night because you've already waited the 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a sunk cost. So Rico's right. You've paid the guy. The money is spent.
Right.
But I got to do something better with my night.
Right. I always equated to, like, the old lady at the casino at the slot machine, and she's been on that machine for an hour. The second I get up, that machine's going to hit. So I got to stay here and keep putting money in it. Actually, you don't. You've already paid the money. You've had fun. Walk away. And that's why because people always get caught up on the money figure. Well, you're paying them. You have to play them. No, you don't. That check is going to cash whether his uniform is crisp and clean because he's never seen the field.
Or if he's not here or is.
Right.
But the point is, he's hurting you. He's a negative WAR player.
Right.
Okay?
I mean, we make fun of him, but I give the Pistons. But Allen Iverson, guess what? We're going to pay you to stay at home.
So, again, to encapsulate yesterday, the real show, not the poor misrepresentation the morning offered you, it's simple. At no level of this are what I deem to be serious baseball town people. Not the owner, not a large portion of the fan base who's just not passionate about it. If you've been beaten down and you're apathetic, so be it. I don't understand the franchise, and I sure as hell don't understand a lot of the media. Not all. But when I have to go to Toledo Blade to read a piece about Torque that you want to nod your head on, I kind of tells you something. And I don't know who the hell wrote it, Bob Benny Brooks or something. I don't know who the hell the kid was. The point is, that was the tenor of the show. Now today's a bummer. Javi's play at second today, it's like minimum I just sit him through the weekend.
Yeah.
If I'm running the team.
Another game you should have won against, Cleveland and the Yankees. You went on the road and squandered some.
So games. The Peace Summit. Here's the good. Can I offer good news to people?
Yeah.
I know I'm a big meanie pants. Let me offer some good news. You're playing a lot of bad baseball teams the remainder of this month. In fact, from now until Memorial Day, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Beard, they play one team with a winning record. It's Kansas City Royals.
Correct.
Houston's terrible. Miami is terrible. The Blue Jays are good in name only. This isn't a video game. Vladdy's not hitting. Bo Bichette's not hitting. Springer's not hitting. These guys, they're not hitting. And Barrios, who knows what you're getting, depending on the day he goes out there.
I didn't realize Bo Bichette, down near, I think he's below the Mendoza.
The point I'm making, you want a peace offering? You want me to let it all go about this offseason? You want people like me to let Chris and Scott Harris off the hook and we go, all right, let's just put our heads down and play baseball. Can you go 12-4 over the next 16 games against largely garbage?
Wow.
Can you do that for me?
You know what? I thought I was tough. I was saying 11-5. But you can go 11-5 against these next teams. But you say 12-4.
What's the record of the teams you're playing?
75 wins, 101 losses.
12-4.
A 426 percentage.
12-4, and we celebrate Memorial Day with the peace pipe.
See, I got 11-5, meaning I got you splitting against Toronto. You're playing
enough.
4 games. 2-1 against Kansas City. 2-1 against Houston. 2-1 against Arizona. 2-1 against Miami.
Okay. I'm just making a point. If people want me to be on board and let go of stuff.
Actually, I got you sweeping Miami.
Oh, by the way, for Rieger's sake, because I know he's driving in and he's, you were the JD guy and Rieger talked Chapman and Cody Bellinger. Bellinger came off the IL and hit another bomb last night. 850 OPS. Who would want that? We got no room in the outfield. No more. Okay.
Can't block the young guys.
I'm making a point. Because now Parker Meadows is in the minors. Colt Keith, I'm pumped up. The kid got a couple RBIs today. I don't want the kid feeling terrible about himself. But the reality is he's not far from getting sent down. Torque's not far. I don't care what AJ says. When you say he's not far from sitting next to me on the bench, that's basically a bus ticket.
Mm-hmm.
The offense saved them last night, and it was just kind of right back to it again today. And the pitching is so good. We'll talk to everybody. We got a lot of people with a lot to say. Some of it has to do with today's game. Some of it has to do with Javi Baez. Some of it has to do with the slander the morning show offered you today. It's all there. 97.1.
Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone. And guys, get this. Now through May 10th, you can walk into your local Planet Fitness. You can start a membership, $1 down, $10 a month. That's it. $1 down, $10 a month. Now through May 10th, head into any of your Planet Fitness because why? It's the home of the judgment-free zone. It's going to allow you to work out in a safe, clean, and fun environment. Squeaky clean gyms. Some of them have brand new cardio and strength training equipment. And if you say you're short on time, you don't worry about that because you can get a full body workout in just 30 minutes on the Planet Fitness 30-minute circuit. You need a little extra motivation, a little help when you go to the gym? No worries because all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training at no extra cost. You get all of this. $1 down, $10 a month. You can cancel at any time. Head into your local Planet Fitness right now to get started or go online at planetfitness.com.
All right, let's.
You didn't have to follow it up with what the pitcher said.
Oh, Chafin was in disbelief. Let's go to the people, see what everybody's got to say. Jen will lead off the hour. Jen, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Excellent. What's on your mind?
So I am also a transplant. I moved here 19 years ago from Philadelphia. So I have forever said the same thing. The complacency with sports out here is unbelievable. Like, it's just good enough to have a Triple Crown winner. That should be good enough. That's enough for the Tigers. It's enough for the fans. I mean, it blows my mind, the sheer complacency that goes on with sports. I mean, we get a lot of bad talk about being Philly fans, but Philly fans, you earn our respect. You earn because you go out there and you work hard. And if we don't think the team's going to win the Super Bowl or the World Series every single year, there's something wrong. That's exactly how we
right.
start. I mean, it might be delusional. But
No. Now, I mean, Jen, look, that's my mentality. It's your mentality. Here, yeah, it's different. I think people here are like, well, we're competitive. And it's like, all right, stop. You know, the ultimate goal is a parade down Woodward. And it's been 16 years without one in any sport. And for the Tigers, it's been 40 years. I'm with you, Jen. I don't want to hear about Cabrera and bits and nonsense. I want to win.
I mean, the other thing, when I was on hold that I'm giggling, I don't even know if we're still paying Ryan Howard. We might be. Like, we owed him the money. Ryan Howard for years. He still might be getting a check. Like, it's done, right? Like,
yeah, you're paying you're paying Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, and Chase Utley probably. But whatever. I mean,
they're great.
Mike Schmidt's getting his last check.
Right. But no, Jen, that's
right.
Jen, that's where we're at. And again, obviously, you know, no one's asking for Philadelphia here because you guys booed Santa Claus. I mean, let's be honest.
You got a jail cell in the.
You stole C.J. Gardner-Johnson's car during a playoff game. Go look up that story. The point I'm making is the Tigers are never held to a standard in this town. Not by the owner, not by the media, and not by a portion of the fan base. That's the genesis of the comments I made yesterday, and I stand by them, despite the heinous misrepresentation of James Anthony Costa. Because reality is a team hasn't won a title in 40 years and hasn't made the playoffs in 10. Fans have every right to be upset because now we were promised an offseason because Chris said rebuild's over. Remember when he said that a couple of years ago? Mm-hmm. And the team bombed again. You had all this money come off the books. Yeah. And we didn't add anything offensively. And why are we losing? It's not the pitching. Look at how good Reese Olson and Flaherty have been.
No.
It's not the pitching.
I think what happens, Mike, is the fans in this city, they've just gotten so used to losing. And
so voice your displeasure.
It's not. It's just because you. If it wasn't for the Lions last year, think about it. It had been a long time since you've seen any type of success.
It proves my point, and it makes Jim look stupid. Lions fans never lose the passion. They never lose it. They get angry. They marched outside the stadium. Mm-hmm. I was at that game against the Bengals.
They wore the orange.
Rico, those fans want it. They look, no matter how bad the Lions are, the fan base wants it. Look at the emotion last year stirred up for people.
Think about it. Here's how it went 180 degrees, because now when Sheila gets up, they actually cheer. But before, whenever a Ford would get up and talk,
they
booed. They would bring hey, Barry, could you go tell these people this? Because they're going to boo me if I say something. They're not going to boo you.
Isn't the Javi play not being on socials a microcosm of what we're talking about? If this were New York or Philly, that play would be everywhere. Fans would be calling for Javi to be DFA'd or at bare minimum benched.
I'm amazed. It's 2024. Like, if a player visibly farts, it's online. Javi with one of the most embarrassing plays you'll see all year. We can't get a video of that? By the way, where was AJ Hints on the Bally Sports app?
I was just about to say, apparently we can't get that either.
I can't roll sound in? Did anyone ask about the bullpen? The usage of Foley? Why is Chafin a lefty pitching against a guy with an 1,100 OPS against lefties?
Did he speak at all? We have no idea.
I wouldn't know. Maybe, or we'll send a raven. It's Game of Thrones.
Carrier pigeon, smoke signal. Give me something here.
Here's a list of questions from Rico Beard.
The Raven has arrived.
Right, it's amazing. Because Kenny, I'm with you. It's just all of it. Lord, no, look at the difference though. With the Lions. Now, Jared Goff has played Pro Bowl caliber football here outside the first 6 weeks he got here. Okay? He went through a rough patch in October. People lined up on these phone lines to shred. Right, wrong, or otherwise. Shred their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Yet, the Tigers, I feel like, could be a 500 team in continuum. Nobody would say a word. That's why I don't feel like this is some great baseball town. Because the fans don't get angry. They disengage. And you can be angry from your couch. I'm not asking you to go to the park. No, that's another lie Jim told today. I'm not telling you anything to do. You're just fine enjoying it from your couch.
Brother, baseball is here until September comes. Because you see what happens.
Because of football time.
Because all of a sudden you could fill up the Spartan Stadium, the Big House, Ford Field. Fans are around.
It's August. I give you not September. August.
David,
preseason
what
football.
I'm saying, right, but come September, okay. Well,
no focus on the Tigers.
David, you could bump it back. Just get me to Saratoga. Because I just, if they don't want it or they don't seem to show that they want it, then you know what? To hell with it. And I mean, reality comes that look, this division is good enough to win. Right? This team's good enough to win this division. I apologize. They have the pitching. They have the bullpen. I feel like it is shining a light on everything we talked about. And I always love, it's this weird thing. Can I give you an example?
Sure.
Media members, some of which work at this station. Oh, well, Rieger, you wanted player X. So let me get this straight. Your flex is you're defending starting Johnny Vidalia. And it's because Matt Chapman is not off to a great start. Or, Bellinger got hurt. Yeah, and he has an 826 OPS. Just hit another home run last night. Like, that defense mechanism of this franchise is everything I talk about in this town. I don't understand it. Why would you defend it? Not going there. I'm not taking your bait.
I'm a bad human being, man. I'm so sorry.
I'm glad you've admitted it. Your Lord has thought it about you for years. Talked to him last night. 248-539-9797.
Mike, is that you?
Who this?
Mike, hold on. Hey, JC, it's Mike. It's little Mikey.
What's the red phone doing ringing?
Wait, you know what? Hold on my calls. I got to take this one. Go ahead, Mike.
This is an important one. It's tremendous. Rico's really enjoying the funny he made. I'll get to all the calls in a moment, okay?
Read something.
NBA playoffs have tipped off. Get back in the action with FanDuel right now. New customers, $150 in bonus bets. Any winning $5 wager, it's $150 to use on... use it on the Celtics' three-point attempts. They took like 50 of them last night. Maybe you like SGA since nobody on the Mavs plays defense. Whatever it is, get involved. FanDuel.com/ticket to get started. It's FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issue. No withdrawable bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brought to you by Applied Innovation. Reese Olson threw 6 innings while allowing just a single hit and 1 earned runs in the Tigers' 5-4 extra innings loss today. His manager, A.J. Hinch, said, quote, "He was tremendous again. We like his calmness. We like that he's going to make pitches. He's got a full array of pitches that he can attack different lineups. He did his part, and he has responded very well to not having perfect play behind him." Catcher Jake Rogers also backed up those comments. Hinch also said, quote, "Too many mistakes, pick a side of the ball, and we didn't do enough to win the game. This one got away because we put ourselves in a really tough spot," end quote. Shohei Ohtani's former translator pled guilty to charges of bank fraud and submitting an inaccurate tax return today. His plea agreement calls for him to pay back the nearly $17 million he stole from Ohtani, and he could face up to 33 years in prison. According to Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated, NBA organizations have an eye on former Pistons star Chauncey Billups' status in Portland. The Trailblazers are in the middle of a rebuild and have already cut loose 2 assistant coaches. Mannix says Billups will be a candidate for other jobs should he be let go too. The NBA playoffs resume tonight with a single matchup. The Knicks look for a 2-0 lead over the Pacers, tip at 8. At the Coral Health Update Desk, I'm Jeremy Otto. More at 6 or at 971theticket.com.
All right, straight to the people. Anthony's going to lead off the 5:30. 97 the ticket. What's up, Ant? How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Good, Ant.
I just wanted to have a little heart-to-heart with my fellow Tiger fan here.
Okay.
Listen, everybody. We need to stop acting like 1984 was yesterday. We get it. Alan Trammell did things the right way, and you didn't care that Kirk Gibson cussed out kids who asked for autographs. This isn't that team anymore. The general attitude around here is that, from you mouth breathers, is that we haven't won a World Series in 40 years, but that's okay because we got to see Miguel Cabrera. We got to see Justin Verlander win multiple Cy Youngs. But we're ungrateful, and we don't understand the game because we want to sign big-name free agents. Wake up, people. The Texas Rangers started the rebuild after us and won a World Series. We need less parking lots and more urgency in this town, but that won't happen because people would rather just have a place to hang out and drink overpriced beer, and if the team is good, it's just a nice bonus.
My man.
Wow.
That's the gif of Denzel as Frank Lucas. My man. Anthony, that's, yes, you are my spirit animal.
Passion.
Yes, because what Anthony's saying is real.
Oh, no, Anthony, I'm with you. Having the talk with David and Kenny today, I realized, and that was 40 years ago. Jesus. Yeah, it's been, I mean, it put in perspective. Like, I'm talking to you two, and neither one of you were alive when this happened. Wow.
And he's right. The Texas Rangers are a great comp. Now, Anthony, I want to defend your point, but also I want to avoid getting into a damn street fight with people. I'm not telling you that the Texas Rangers way is the only way or the most advisable. Let me put that out there.
Spin.
But Texas comes out of, let's see, hadn't had a winning season since 2016. 78, 67, 78. They go 22-38 in the COVID. They go 60-102 in 2021. They go 68-94 in 22. They spent to get Seager. They spent to get Simeon. They traded for pitching. They won the World Series last year, guys. I mean, I'm not telling you that it were. I could give you a million examples of teams who spend and lose, but here's my point. If you believe Scott Harris is very smart, and I do think he's smart, I just don't know if he's as smart as he thinks he is. But if you trust him, and you empower him, or he goes out and makes the right signing or two. Let me ask you guys a question, just for fun. For fun, don't get mad. Torkelson's been a problem, true or false? What if I told you there was a player available that would have been Torkelson insurance, can play the outfield and first base, currently has an 830 OPS, and would lead your team in home runs? That player's Cody Bellinger. Now, again, it would have taken more money to get him here, or he didn't want to be here, or he was always going to go to Chicago. Guys,
make him say no.
But just work with me on it. That's all I'm saying. It's this idea of imagine the differential had they done anything offensively. Imagine in a world. It's like Rico's little Marvel movies. In a world. Like, what if the top of the order was Green and then Luis Ariz and then Cody Bellinger? What's that look like? You don't think you're 5-6 games better? I do. And then we're talking about, I want to win this division, man. Now look, they got a soft May schedule. You have a 1-5 road trip. I need you to snap back. Give me a 12-4 run to Memorial Day. Let's get this thing on the tracks here.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going 11-5, but and then you follow that up after Memorial Day with 2 games with Pittsburgh. So, yeah.
13-5. Give me 13-5.
I'll meet you right there.
My man. Let's go to Doug, 97.1. Doug, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, Michael. How are you today?
I'm good now that I was able to correct the slander from the morning show.
Well, you know, it's interesting because I was on my way to work and I would have killed the call-in because, you know, Jim was talking about passion. But then I thought back because I didn't hear you live with that comment, but I said it isn't apples to oranges. It's about the passion. It's the standard. I want a damn World Series in this town. I remember 12, 11 years ago. Look at the fire. Look at what that did.
Yep.
I would check daily the updates on MLB.com. Where are we in the standings? I don't give a crap right now. And I would love to go see a game. But, you know, it's a terrible product. And I want to be a Fire Tigers fan. But it's so hard. But I demand better. And until I get better, I can't accept this.
Yes.
For all 3 of our other teams.
And that's the issue.
What the Lions did.
I was just talking, Doug, it was interesting, and maybe you can remember it, but I asked Rico, I asked Rieger, I asked Evan, David, Kenny. I go, what's the last time somebody wrote an aggressive piece about Chris Ilitch and his stewardship of the Tigers in the newspaper? When's the last time we saw that? I couldn't tell you. How did he get away with this offseason where we didn't do anything? Like, that's my point.
We're not asking for a freaking $100 million contract, but get some bats. That's the spark. That's the offense. I want to root for another team. Look what the Lions did in one season to this town.
I'm going to tell you this.
There's a fire in this town. It's just dull,
Doug,
but terrible product.
Doug, you make a great point. Rico's made the same point, and it's a quality one. I always would say the first team that got it right would own this town. It's in living color with the Lions. They own this city. Mm-hmm. They own it.
You saw that with the draft.
They own it.
Almost
Jersey
a million
sales,
people down there.
They own it.
Right.
Ticket sales. They own it. But now, here's the trick. It's the standard. The standard is making the playoffs every year. The standard is winning a Super Bowl.
Kind of like greedflation. You don't go backwards.
Sharks do not swim backwards.
Look at that.
It's the truth. That's all I ask is we need more sharks in the media and with Tiger fans because I want a serious baseball product. I want something that is real and engaging. And I can't believe how easy the owner gets it and Scott Harris gets it and how I don't understand why the media romances the Tigers.
I think it's because the Ilitch family is an institution.
So can I ask a question? Okay, you can keep the institution stuff. I'll leave that to you.
I mean, they are.
Why are the Pistons a piñata and the Tigers are the princess? Why? When the Pistons, in the last 25 years, factually speaking, have had a parade, should have had 2, were consistent over the course of a decade of getting to the conference finals, which is the equivalent of the ALCS, and yet a local legend was run out on a rail. Poor Joe's house caught on fire.
You want the answer to that?
Yes.
David, you may be able to help me with this. Back me up if I'm wrong, okay? I'm not saying you do this, but think of it like this, Mike. When you have a lot of kids, certain kids, you expect a lot more. So you're harder on those kids. The other kids that you know, man, your brother or sister's going to be taking care of you later in life. You're just happy they graduated high school. You're happy They stayed out of jail.
You're happy they didn't
Right.
bleep themselves all over the living room
Right.
floor.
And
I understood.
they're like, right. And the kid who actually is doing something is like, well, why are you so hard on me when this guy can do whatever? Because I expect more out of you.
He's not just a pretty face, people. Kenny, I'm pretty sure he just said one of David's kids is a degenerate. I don't know, but that's how I heard it.
There may be one.
We're not doing this.
Thank God for the middle child. Hopefully he has a big house later in life.
We are not doing this.
Man, you leave me out of this. I may bust chops about you letting one of your kids be a Michigan fan or something like that, but I'm staying out of this business.
David and his older son and I, we have a relationship. So.
They do go back and forth. They do.
So you can slander him.
Yeah.
Oh,
They go back and forth. They do, yes.
sure David's wife is just thrilled with this.
She thinks it's funny.
Even worse. Up next, social services in David's house.
But no, it is. When you expect more out of a certain child, you're harder on that kid.
So is that what I'm doing to the Tigers?
You're trying, but the Tigers are the kid that maybe let's just graduate high school and not get anybody pregnant. And let's go that route.
I just want to state for the record on a 75 and sunny afternoon in the Motor City that this man who paints himself as a man of the good book is openly slandering David's kids.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the Tigers.
Move back to the Tigers. I
Right.
think.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think.
I'm sorry.
No, I was talking-
You were weaving such a
Right.
tapestry.
I was talking about the Tigers, where the Pistons, because you've seen success.
Hope David's kid doesn't have 3 kids and a crack
No.
addiction. I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
Back away.
You've seen success with the Pistons. That's why the fan base is a little more. They're angrier because they know what it feels like. Where it's once again 40 years ago, Mike. There's a generation and a half that has no idea.
But I just
the
would
almost
argue,
World Series don't count.
I know, but those runs do. Seeing 2.5 million people go through the turnstiles at Comerica, it does count. You had a taste of the good life. And then you took MC Hammer's financial planner, and now you're broke. You had a taste. You had a moment in time.
You had a taste, Mike, but I think winning it all, it really solidifies. Yes, we are the best team. No argument. You can't say, well, if this guy if he didn't have the era,
All right. David's landing a flight over here. Everybody calm down. Get green, stay green with Natural Way. Limited time only. Purchase a full lawn program. You get free grub control and insect control. Just mention my name or the station. They'll give you the best price. You don't even have to like me. I'm indifferent to that. Just save money, okay? Natural Way's offer for a complete season, best in the game. And the warm weather's here. It's beautiful. With it come the dandelions. With it becomes the bugs. Get it taken care of. They got professional application. They've got a custom-tailored solution for your lawn, nobody else's. Trust a locally owned company with over 30 years of experience and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Call 888-GET-GREEN. That's 888-GET-GREEN, or just go to naturalwaylawn.com.
All right. Get ready to turn this thing over to Rieger and Woj.
David was Javi Baez right there. Little bit away from second base.
I'm like, wait, is it 6?
David, ticket text, and then Rieger sits in. I don't know if Wojo's with him tonight. I can't speak to it. I have no idea.
I thought he said he was because I was like, is it you and Mark Ryan? He's like, no, Mark's coming in at 10 o'clock. So it's Rieger and Wojo.
Makes sense. He's not here.
I was going to say 9 minutes before a broadcast.
Yep.
Why would you be here? Go ahead, David.
Brent from Westland asked you all a question. What do you want us to do? Yes, we're angry. Yes, we're sick of it. We can't make the owner spend money or make the GM make solid moves. What can we do as fans?
Just voice your displeasure. I don't need anything else.
You can be vocal. I mean, here's the thing. The people of Oakland really are handcuffed. The team is going to leave. But you know what? Across the country, we all know how that fan base feels about that team.
I just want more from the media. I want more from the owner. And what I don't want are the Scott bots. And if you're not a Scott bot, then I wasn't talking to you yesterday. I don't understand a blind defense of a franchise that pretty soon no one's going to be alive they were here the last time they won a title. I mean, seriously, like if you were 30 years old, which is a young person, you're on the verge of tapping out here. Like it's 84 is 40 years ago, man.
Hey, Granddad, tell us another story about the 84 Tigers.
It's an inconvenient truth about Earns. They don't talk back.
So
David,
I've heard.
Wow,
they say.
Someone says, I blame the new guy, Pastor Ryan, with his overly optimistic attitude about the Tigers. My man said that they were going to go 3-3 on his road trip. How does that look now?
This has nothing to do with him. This has to do with you blew 3 leads. That you didn't beat the Yankees. You lost a 2-1 game.
Guys,
you should have won today.
Guys, it's like I'm not going to beat up on Mark because he said 3-3 and they went 1-5. Where we say things that are wrong all the time. It's part of being a fan. It's part of doing this job.
Bro, if you don't say things that are wrong, then
you didn't say anything.
Right.
I mean, it's just I have other reasons I could beat up on Mark, but I'm not going to do that either.
We live in the receipt world. You once said this wrong, and you're horrible because you got this wrong. Like, all right.
Nah. Hell, Shaq got on national television last night and said Dallas by 15. Cutscene. They lost by 22. It happened. I love that show because it's not narrative. It's just fun. Yeah. Riggs is going to plug in. David, give us a few more.
Hopefully it sticks around because you're going to blame me if it doesn't.
It won't. It's gone.
Because, well, if NBC is smart, they will bring them along. I'll just say
I've heard reports that Shaq is done with TV if it's over.
Yeah, but Ernie's not leaving TNT.
He can't leave. Yeah.
No, he's based, I believe, in Atlanta, and he has
baseball to
kids.
do.
He has kids who have health needs too. Like it's not as simple as take different job.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that if they're smart, they say, guys, stay in Atlanta, do your show. We'll work it out.
Yeah. Riggs.
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Super.
Swimmingly.
Unbelievable loss. I mean, listen, if the Tigers really wanted to make you choose between getting the Bally Zap or not, they've kind of made life easy on you.
No, because they're going to get hot here. They play a lot of bad teams. We're having a peace summit. If they can go 12-4 over the next 16 games against garbage.
12-4.
Look at who they're playing. Look at who they're playing.
They got Houston.
Awful.
Yeah.
Miami.
Awful.
Absolutely
awful.
Pittsburgh. Awful.
Yeah.
Come on.
Then Arizona. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. My point to you is this. Prove that we need to lay our swords down about the offense. Play winning baseball. Play consistently winning baseball. Let's get to Memorial Day, and we will chart a course for contention.
I just find today's loss so appalling because it's everything that fans hate about this team.
Yes.
Whether it's not scoring 9 of 10 innings, whether it's A.J. Hinch not knowing how to use a closer or not believing in a closer. Like, Woj and I are going to talk about it. I do think that there comes a time, and that time might be right now, May 8th, where I don't know that A.J. Hinch deserves all the love and credit that he gets. Like, it's not all his fault. Baseball managers don't really control a whole lot. But my goodness, man. Like, what are we doing in the 7th and 9th inning?
It seemingly was mismanagement. And again, he did it with Shelby Miller just a few days ago.
Twice.
I know.
A week.
So, yes, I think the thing that overshadows it was Javi Baez.
That's bad. Yeah.
On a grounder to short, albeit a hard hit one, you can't get picked off second.
Well, you get an off day, and then you get the Astros and Verlander coming to town.
I'd play Winfield Perez this week.
Do something about it.
I'd play Winfield Perez. I just told you what I do.
Yeah. He's been benched 4 times already. Make it 5 on Friday.
And that's my point is by the time we get to Memorial Day, that's it. June is DFA month. I allowed him the grace to get to June. If I own the team, he'd be gone. The money's already spent. I don't want to look at you anymore.
If I owned the team, he would have never made it out of spring
No,
training.
Rico and I had that argument, the conversation. Mike, you were gone. But Rico yelled at me saying, no, get rid of him right now. Bench him right now if you're not going to buy him out. And I defended
I try. Well, no.
I was a dumbass.
I'm on your side because reality is you got to get to June. He's not wrong in principality.
Right. I mean, because his spring training was horrible. Like, you're not even trying.
You know what's funny, though? There is almost a spin going on with Javier Baez. Because if you listen to some of the broadcasters, some of the media, they go out of their way to point out how great of a fielder he is, how great of a defensive glove he is.
Okay, but
can't do anything else.
But he's a negative WAR player.
I don't
like it's
disagree.
just what it is, and I admit I'm biased. I don't want to look at him no more. I just can't do it. Today was like outer space. I couldn't believe.
Does Wojo know we're on camera?
Wojo's flipping us all off. Hasn't said a word. All right,
Kenny, I was
go check out
There's 3
YouTube.
cameras
You'll
on
see
him right
Wo-
now.
Exactly.
Right.
Kenny, we're talking
Did you get
Igor
that on video?
Shesterkin. He's back. All right, these two are up next. It sounds like Tiger baseball.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you hear Jeff Rieger? He's a Specs grad. You too can be a Specs grad. All you got to do is be curious. You got to go visit the website, ltu.edu/specs. You're going to learn more about the broadcast media arts, digital media arts, and graphics communications program taught through Specs at LTU right here in Southfield on the campus of Lawrence Tech. You're going to be taught by people who work in the industry like myself, and with the hands-on approach and expert faculty, you're going to learn the practical skills you need to succeed in today's media industry. So be like Jeff. Be curious. Go visit the website, ltu.edu/specs to learn more. Then make magic by enrolling in Specs at LTU certificate program today.